And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. The Vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. The Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because people on Facebook don't know what the word fact means. Kind of the same way that they don't know the difference between duck and duct tape. Part of this is also to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination, no matter what they say over there at No Man's Sky. I am your host. I am known as Shujin Tribble all over the place. You can find me pretty much everywhere under that. I'll give you a quick introduction to everybody that's here, and, well, we're expecting a couple, at least one more to be showing up. Starting from the top left-hand corner of your bingo card tonight. Good evening, Dalan. You might want to remember to turn off your mute button there, Chief.
Good evening.
That's better.
Bite me.
That's the other show I used to do once upon a time. Moving to the right on your card into Ontario. Good morning, Heretic Woman.
Good morning.
From the Midwest of the U.S., someone who actually knows what a button is. Good morning, Brigid.
Good morning. Good evening. It's still evening here.
Joining us back this week, and good to have you back from Points Unknown. Good morning, Joey.
Hardly unknown.
Close enough. And chiming in from apparently Odin's left-hand side with Hunin and Munin chiming in. Good morning, Joseph.
Come on, bout.
Le fromage.
So we're still waiting for Unrenowed Tech and Chris to show up. Tech is running a little bit behind schedule. He'll be joining us in just a little while. Chris, I don't know where he is. Getting a little concerned.
Too damn busy waxing their beards and mustaches.
It could very well be. We don't know. But in any case, if Chris, if you're watching, listening, we miss you. I've got your paycheck. Might want to show up once in a while. No, there's no paychecks involved. None of this.
We gave him a raise, too.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Well,
Anyway.
what's 2 times 0?
About my base pay right now.
I was going to say, you're the critical thinker. You figure it out.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and get everything started over here for everybody. I want to go ahead and tell you guys right off the bat that just before we went to air, we were talking about a couple of things. And I almost decided that I was going to change what I was going to open with. I'm not, but the stuff that we were talking about before we came on air, oh yeah, I do really think that there's a show involved in all of that, but we'll fill you guys in on about that a little bit later. Meanwhile, let me get you guys started with apologies to the guys over there at Scathing Atheist, because I like name dropping. Your 5-minute freestyle starts right now. I decided to call this one Soapboxes Don't Get You Clean. Oh my God, do you have any idea? Have you been following the news this particular week? Because this almost became, and it may still become, a show, whether the crows like it or not. This past week, gentleman, an atheist, no less, over there in Oklahoma said, you know what? These folks from a charity home for kids, they came in. They wanted some work done for signage, I believe it was. And sure, yeah, I'll put in $100 for you guys as a donation. Oh, I can get a group recognized for it. Sure, okay. And specifically put down for the Muskogee Atheist Society, I believe it was, out over there. And they took it, didn't really think about it at the time, and he got a call a little while later that said they can't accept it because they're run by a religious organization, and they can't accept it. So, but I mean, if you'd like to change who it's for, in the name of, they gratefully accept it. And they said, you know what? I don't really feel good about that. Considering it's for the Muskogee Atheist Society, let me check with them what they want to do. Don't do anything with the money. Just hold off. And they came back and they said, how about $250 instead of that $100? No, I can't do that. Okay. So he decided he was going to go ahead and do a Kickstarter or GoFundMe. I forget which one it was. And the local news agency caught wind of it because it started to make the circles. And the headline that they had was interesting because they had 4 corrections to it. Because the dollar figure kept going up and up. It crossed over $3,000. Over 5, it surpassed $10,000 and kept going. And it started to become, as they say, real money. So the question was going to become, at what point is this group going to go ahead and accept money for their charity, for the kids locally that they're helping? He surpassed $20,000. He got real close to 30 before he decided, you know what? I'm going to pull the plug at 7 p.m. in 2 days. Or, well, the third day, actually, is what it turned into. He didn't have it up a week. He had it up for, 3 days. And said, you know what? That's it. Well, what do they do if they're not going to take the money? That's a good question. So they thought about it, and they got together and they said, you know what? Camp Quest. If they're not going to take it, we'll put it to Camp Quest. How's that sound? So they got almost $30,000 for this charity for kids. And because it was for the atheists who were doing it, and they would have to identify them, they said no. So they decided that all of that money was going to Camp Quest instead. Except $5,000. Because they were going to find some way of getting that money through an anonymous channel, through some other charitable group, some other church maybe that would be willing to go ahead and basically funnel the money through in order so that at least $5,000, one way or another, would get through for the kids. Because this group that is funded by a theistic organization won't even acknowledge for $30,000 to benefit kids in bad situations, Native American kids, because it goes against everything that they stand for. It's all well and good to have your soapbox, but you know what? When your soapbox makes you that dirty, you really need to rethink what you're standing on this point. This is episode 128 on the docket. Your Honor, put the book down. And some people will probably figure it out. Yes, I was making a direct reference to...
And pick up the bottle.
And pick up the bottle is fine. Put the candle back. You might remember that particular scene from Young Frankenstein. I did. Good movie. And I saw some video of some woman who was saying, how early is it that you can teach kids about the Bible, about Jesus? Well, as soon as they're born, you can start doing this. All you need is a laminated picture of Jesus, your Bible, and a mirror, and you can start training them as early as... That's the point where I said, whoa, why did you use the word train? That's creepy. And I suddenly realized as I'm watching this, she's got her Bible with her, and she's not putting it down. She's gesticulating, as any good Italian would do. And she put it under her arm, put it in the crook of her arm, under her elbow. And it got me to thinking, wait a minute. Protesters are doing this. People on TV are doing this. They've all got their well-worn Bible with them all the time, and they wave it and waggle it in your face like it's a finger. What the hell? Why do you have this if you don't even know what the hell is inside of it? And yet we can go ahead and have our own versions, and we'll shred you for it. But we'll come back to that in a second. I haven't heard anything new in the news at this point, Heretic Woman.
No.
I
nothing
haven't
here.
exactly been looking either that well, but
No,
no
I
new
haven't.
news.
No.
So, unfortunately, as of the recording of this show, this is now 4 years, 2 months, 11 days since Rafe Badawi was unjustly incarcerated for thought crime. Our hopes are still with you and your family. Let's hope. So, first off, super creepy. Telling families that, oh, you've got a newborn, you can start training them. That was the word that was used. Training about Jebus as soon as they come back from the hospital. And all you need is a laminated picture, your Bible, and a mirror so that you can put it in front of the mirror at least and say, who does Jesus love? Who's that? It's you.
Unless Jesus has a nipple, I don't think they're going to be terribly interested.
Well,
maybe we don't need that visual. Just throwing it out there.
It is what it is, man.
Given the argument that he was an immortal man, with all the proper endowments, I believe, yes, he in fact had two. It's the angels that don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, haven't you ever
That's
seen
where
Dogma?
anime gets that from.
Haven't you ever seen Dogma?
Yes, but not in a while.
and I'm probably going to go ahead and piss some people off, but
The Holy Mother
you-
Church does not make mistakes. Oh, really? What about their silence during the Holocaust? Okay, mistakes were made. But you cannot hold the current incarnation of the Holy Mother Church for the mistakes of old.
And I'm probably going to piss off some Catholics when I say, feeding children, that is actually a Catholic thing.
Yep.
Just leave it right there, and we'll see all of the hate mail come barreling in, all one piece of it all.
Well,
Maybe.
I can add to that, like your earlier story about this a charity organization not accepting atheist money. That whole debacle served for one thing. It showed how their charity worked, because it turns out that very little of the money they get actually goes to Native Americans.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
This piece
And-
about that. Go on, and I'll finish off.
Yeah, sorry. And religions in general, they tend to use the what's a nice way to say it? Well, the impoverished, the
Vulnerable.
yeah. They tend to use the disadvantaged as a donation bait for their own indoctrination.
Children especially.
Yeah.
And it kind of bugs me that it's all for Native American children, because they have traditionally been major targets of religious indoctrination. So that kind of makes me kind of go, huh? And interesting to note, I actually listened to Seth Andrews did an interview with the atheist gentleman who was trying to get the money, and he is also part Native American, so that was the other reason he felt that he wanted to give money. And if memory serves, one of the main objections that they had was that they felt he was just trying to get attention for giving money to them, because he wrote it was from the atheist organization. And no, he happened to be the president of the organization, and he wanted to give money in their name as their president. That's all he wanted to do.
Well, here's another point to that. The original charity that was giving the money away, did they not also tout the fact that they were in fact a religious charity?
Yep, Baptist.
So, hi, pot, kettle,
Yeah,
please
Yeah.
introduce each other.
exactly.
This gets even better,
Break.
because it turns out that some other person decided to start a second Kickstarter. I think it was. Like I said,
Oh, really?
in order to raise more money because they were all upset that the atheists had gone ahead and done their thing. So someone who was of a theistic nature decided that they were going to do it.
Of
And their
course.
Kickstarter thing. Whoa, wait, it gets better. Their whole Kickstarter thing got all kinds of muddied information in there, and it was just really poorly written out. They did not release the fact that they were associated with said charity.
Uh-huh.
And then when the atheists found out that the charity was this secondary one was going on, they just said, you know what? Okay, let's just go ahead and do a little bit more again anyway.
Yeah.
And the Kickstarter collection was terminated because they freaking rage quit. How brilliant.
And this is
Wow.
why that makes it blatantly obvious that they don't give a crap about the children at all. The children are, like they said, the charity for the children, right? And no one gives a crap about the poor kids because all they want is their political recognition. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's bullshit.
Yep. And by the way, because I almost missed it, my eyes are not doing real good at the moment. Real quick, Katie, good morning. Beth, good to see you. Okay, I did see Trippin there for a couple of seconds. Don't know where the hell he went to, but okay,
And
it's
I
fine.
just saw that. Yeah, Trippin. Hello. Good morning.
So yeah, that was fun and entertaining. So
Ugh.
yeah, that whole thing is going to become a show sometime in the near future.
Cool beans.
So anyway,
The crows are happy at that.
well, it doesn't surprise me. Okay, so we've talked on occasion about actually we'll come back to that in a second. I think we do have over here, Chris. We've got you now.
We do, yes.
Okay.
Yay.
And I can hear you now.
Yes.
That's good.
Better and better.
Yep.
You'll regret it later.
So from north of England, good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Shujin.
All right. So, so we've joked about Bible Barbie before, and I'm going to use her
Yes.
as an example in this particular case.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, go ahead and a quick rundown of who Bible
Yes.
Barbie is.
About a year ago, past Easter, my local atheist group, Grand River Atheists, were having a meetup at a local Tim Hortons. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't Tim Hortons, it was Williams, because we're weird that way. But anyway, we were having a good old time, and this lovely lady, little blonde lady in a Barbie pink pea coat came over and said, "Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you," which was bullface-like, because she just interrupted us. But I'm a Christian, and I just wanted to let you know I'll pray for you. And of course, we all lit into her, and you know, Bible verses were thrown around, and she made the cardinal mistake of saying to a bunch of atheists with internet connections, "That's not in the Bible." And of course, we shamed her horribly for saying that. So that's Bible Barbie.
Yeah.
She emailed back and forth with one of our members for a little while after that, but she's kind of faded into obscurity now.
Yep. So,
Sorry, Joey's got to pick up a picture up. For those of you listening to the show, we've got Barbie hand raised in front
Awesome.
of a podium, or behind a podium with a big ass Bible in front of her. So the
Awesome.
visual representation of Bible Barbie.
Fantastic.
maybe we should make her the unofficial mascot.
Well, now, if you wait a second here, I actually have, there's a meme going around of atheist Barbie. But oh, there she is.
Yeah, actually, you know, all of a sudden a really bad visual came into my head, and I'm gonna say it right now. You've got the flying spaghetti monster with the noodly appendages. You've got Bible Barbie, you know, a stereotypical bubblehead.
Yep.
Is anyone else seeing an anime connection here at all, or is it just me?
Could be.
I got
And-
atheist Barbie there for you.
Let's see.
And there she is.
Laptop bag for easy access to atheist blogs and emergency use of Snopes. Right on. Stylish nerd glasses. Flying spaghetti monster necklace. Now that's an accessory.
Yep.
Geeky Pro Science T-shirt. Godless reading manual. No pants to be ready for surprise orgies.
Yeah, she's
A
just
bag.
in her panties.
Yeah, a bag with a baby. Lunch.
Yeah,
And atheist pieces of flair. Yeah, that's.
which a bag with like little atheist buttons, and the godless reading material is in fact the God delusion.
Again, I'm probably going to piss off some people, but
Orgies?
What's that?
Yeah, apparently we have surprise orgies.
Well, somebody left me out of that invitation.
No.
I know. Where's my invitation, man?
Yeah, so that's what I've been missing all this time.
Jesus. Like all this.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Maybe
which
that's it.
subsection of this group do I have to be part of to get in on that action?
I don't know. I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah,
Yeah, same
of
here.
course, if it involves a certain group of people, I might not want any part of it, or
Yeah.
just might need a little bit of liquid encouragement. I accept tequila, spiced rum, vodka, and beer.
And don't remember.
that could be. Now, here's the thing about people like
That's only because you can't drink like a man.
people like Bible Barbie. I have in my hand. You can't hear this on the air, but I'm currently holding in my hand a 60 gig, yes, only 60, little itty bitty teeny tiny USB drive. I got it because I just needed something to transfer files back and forth and whatnot. It's thin, it's tiny, little guy. You know how much information I can fit on here? If it's just text,
A lot.
a lot. 60 gigs is a lot of room. I mean, hell, a good old-fashioned CD, that's going to have a lot of room. It's a DVD, but even so.
Shujin, that's way too sparkly for this time in the morning.
Well, you know what? That's your own damned fault. But the point of it is, your book is not going to update. And mine will. A lot. Now, the best part about this whole thing is I don't have to rely on that because I can't plug that into my phone or tablet, although there are adapters to be able to do that, whatever. Age of information is a wonderful thing. Yeah. If you're living in the information age and you don't take advantage of that information, you are not only doing yourself a disservice, you're doing a disservice to the entirety of society. So, why do these people think that holding up their Bible as if it's a shield is such a good thing because they keep doing it?
Because that's all they know.
Case in point, too, last year during ReasonCon, we had street preachers out in front of the hotel, and one of them was dubbed Gene the Preaching Machine, because his name is Eugene.
Yep, that's
And,
the one I was specifically thinking of, too.
Yeah, Bobby C. went out there with Matthew the Apostle, and they challenged the guy because, Bobby was in seminary. Bobby was going to be a preacher. He knows his Bible. And, of course, that's not in the Bible. And Bobby, he has apps on his phone, whatever. But Bobby said, no, you know what? Because I don't want you thinking that I got some magic atheist fake Bible app on my phone. Go to your car and get your own Bible. And he literally sent Gene the Preaching Machine back to his car, and they didn't think he was going to come back, but to his credit, he did. He came back with his Bible, and when he was proven that, yes, indeed, what they had said was in the Bible, he abruptly changed the subject and started on another tangent because,
Wait. So Gene the Preaching Machine didn't have his Bible with him when he was doing his thing?
No.
I'm
I was
shocked.
Without his appeal to authority?
I am
Yeah, I
simply gobsmacked here.
I know. He had to go all the way the hell back to his car.
You know, I will bet you that deep down he knew that someone like Bobby C was going to come up to him and say, "Okay, jackass, let's have a little game of prove it."
Yeah.
But so maybe he figured he could fast talk his way around anybody.
Probably.
But unfortunately, he met Bobby C.
The problem is a lot of these street preachers and your rank and file Christian that feels the urge to proselytize to strangers, they don't realize that the majority of non-believers come from religion, and that a good chunk of us are atheists because we tried to be better theists. Because I've met several Muslims that are ex-Muslim because they wanted to be more Muslim, and that's generally how it happens. The more you dig into the steaming pile, the more you find out that there ain't no needle in the haystack of poo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not there. And so they assume that we don't know, because if we knew what they knew, obviously we'd still be a believer, which is crap.
Yeah, Joey, you were going to say?
Joseph, Joey?
Joey?
Me? Yeah, I was going to say that a lot of religious leaders and followers tend to forget that nobody had a Bible before the 16th century. And it may even have been forbidden for them to have it, because there is...
It absolutely was.
It's vague, because, religion is not very good for documenting everything they ban.
I will say in England it was.
The English translations were forbidden, that's for absolutely certain. But for any lay person owning a Bible, it may even have been forbidden for people to read at one point in medieval times. But
it may have been. I know, like, my knowledge is more based in the Tudor period, but in that period, nobility could certainly own them, but then most of them could read at least something, and a lot of them were taught Latin as well. So they could actually, most of them, read a Bible. But,
I think the Bible came with their education, because only the noblemen, because at the time, the highest rate of literacy was in the clergy. And
absolutely. Yeah, because they had to be able to read the crap so that they could parse it out to the masses.
And by the way, even they were very bad at it, because, I mean, if you go back to Charlemagne's time, he tried to reform, he tried to open education to the public, and he gave the job to the clergy. And the clergy ended up only teaching their own preachers, and even that they did badly, because most of them were illiterate.
And Trippin, yes, you're right. That is the main reason why English translations, in particular, were banned, because they did not want the common man to be able to read and find out that, Father so-and-so was making shit up as he went along.
Yeah, it's...
and the contradictions.
Yeah,
the contradictions,
And I argue that those contradictions are there on purpose, because basically it allows whoever's holding the Bible to say any fucking thing they want.
True.
Yeah, the Council of Nicaea, they did their job a little bit too well.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, and I think the reason you have people like, the Bible, or the laminated Jesus mirror lady with the Bible under her arm, and other people who hold up that book, even though they may not know what's in it, and I am going to so get crucified for saying this, but let's face it.
Look, if they have their way,
we'll crucify you with Velcro.
What was that, Joey?
Finish his point.
No,
Finish your point.
Finish your point.
Okay. There's a phrase that's been going around a lot lately, and I think it was borrowed from the religious orders. Listen and believe.
Mm.
Don't read it for yourself. Believe what I say. Listen to me and believe it. That's all you need. And that is what got them so far, or that got them this far. Because, well, like, Joey's got a great picture up there with Penn Jillette. Says, and I quote, "Whatever you do, don't read the Bible for a moral code. It advocates prejudice, cruelty, superstition, and murder. Read it because we need more atheists, and nothing will get you there faster than by reading the damn Bible." And dollars to donuts, the priests, the religious orders know this.
Yeah.
Because they study the Bible and they realize, okay, if this gets out, my cash cow is going bye-bye.
Yep.
Like, how often does Creflo Dollar go to bed at night in abject fear that the rest of his congregation is going to be illiterate one day, and he comes into an empty church and a big-ass rent bill that he can't pay because he's too busy buying a jet?
Now,
With the Creflo Dollar's congregation, I don't think that's really much of a concern.
yeah, and sadly,
anyone who buys prosperity gospel is not likely to be doing any research into anything.
Yeah,
and so long as we've got the Church of Scientology out there and still plopping thousands upon thousands of dollars, I'm sorry, they've got far and away less time to put stuff together, and they've got creepy ass shit that they did. I'm gonna go ahead and put it that way. I forget what it was called, but they infiltrated levels of the government in order to find information and to, all the stuff they did. And forgive me for putting my glasses on and shining it.
Auditing is the term you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. Thousands upon thousands of dollars. I mean, this doesn't even come close to the Mormons. And they were, what, the late 19th century?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Scientology was mid-20th.
Yeah, I had a fun conversation for about half an hour or so with a group of Mormon missionaries that had set up a table in the middle of town last week. I got a free Book of Mormon out of it, which I'm planning to take my highlighter to this weekend.
Chris, you want some advice? Buy a 6-pack of highlighters. You're gonna need them.
Oh yes, I know.
And use black highlighter.
The magic. I think that's called a redactor.
No, you don't want to use that. That's what they would prefer you to use.
Yes.
You don't need to read
No,
this.
you just use that to get rid of the really useless crap, and then you use the yellow one to, go ahead and highlight the really
the couple of lines that are left.
So
and
let
I
me
did have one of the more interesting things.
And then him, then. The end.
No. It was yay, and it came to pass.
The end.
Fine, thanks. Drink. Those of you that have played the game with
yes,
the small...
drink.
Yeah.
No, David Michael.
Yeah, one of these.
That's okay.
One of these missionary guys happened to be Chinese. Having
just had. Sorry.
It was quite saddening to watch him either deny or defend every sort of racist element of the Mormon Church.
Boy.
And also for the two women that were there, what they're missionaries or whatever
sisters.
They are. Sisters,
yes.
Sister
missionaries.
Yeah, also defend like half the misogynist shit. And not be aware that they can't get into heaven under their own steam.
Yeah, they can't. They can only get into heaven if their husband calls their name and pulls them through the veil.
Yeah, certainly. And these two claimed complete ignorance of that.
Then they didn't pay very good attention during their endowment ceremony. You should point them to New Name Noah, who has the entire thing on video for them to watch.
They're there on and off. So I'm gonna see if I can have that video linked on my bookmarked on my phone.
Oh, you should. You should. He's got a couple, but there's the veil ceremonies.
As long as asking them if they've ever been to a temple marriage.
Yes. And he actually has like the 1.5-minute clip where that's pertinent to them as well. So yeah, they might be forbidden from watching him specifically because he's well known to them.
Well, I won't tell them who it is.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
If they recognise him, that's fair enough. If they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Trippin was going ahead and put something else over in there, and again, thank you very much. Had reminded us Vatican is releasing some, all capital some, his typing, some of their digitized library. I wonder how many people will use a good translator to see what the Latin actually says. Now there's a piece about this that was mentioned before.
Well,
how the Roman Catholic Church had used Latin for millennia, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. My father-in-law actually did not like that they switched over from Latin for the Mass to English in the mid-'60s. So, yeah, once upon a time, Latin was the educator's language, but you come forward after, I don't know, let's say, what's the expression I'm looking for? The Olympics, the modern Olympics? Yeah, nobody's using Latin as a conversational educator's language anymore. I mean, Brigid's probably the only one that'd be able to tell us anything from Latin anymore, but that's just because of the stuff that's used in taxonomy and medical records. Because
Latin wasn't even offered in my high school. If you wanted to take Latin, you had to take it correspondence.
When it comes to science...
Yeah,
Joe?
I was just going to say, when it comes to science these days, it's usually between English, Chinese, or Spanish.
Yeah, and if I remember right...
Simply because those are the three most common languages of, developed nations. Not to say that, your particular nation isn't developed or anything like that. I'm just saying, a lot of you don't really seem to care that much about science. I mean, for a long time, it wasn't Latin that was the primary scientific language. It was Arabic.
Yeah.
And once upon a time, if I remember correctly, I think, I could be wrong on this one, I think, if I remember correctly, the UN was using French as the go-between language for everybody to translate into their localized language.
Yeah, because in medieval times, French was the language that, like what English is now, French was that. Yeah, if you were anybody, a merchant or a noble or anybody that dealt with an international, people, you had to know French because that's what everybody spoke.
That's why some of the English nobility, some of their Dieu mon droit is a good example, and honi soit-il qui... What? Honi soit-il qui... Oh, there's a couple English emblems with French on them still.
Okay. Well, there's a couple in Latin and bad Latin and whatever. A lot of that is either dating back to the day or just modern ones being pretentious.
Yeah, there's that. And by the way, Beth, you take care of yourself, hon, and thanks for being with us even for a little bit. Take care. Joey, what did you try drinking that's giving you that look?
And I'm out. I can't find my shot glasses, so I'm using the mason jar.
Oh boy.
It does not get any more redneck than that.
What is that?
Hooch.
It is Tullamore Dew, established 1829, Irish whiskey, triple distilled from the wonderful folks over at D. Williams. A proud product of Ireland, 40% alcohol by volume, and best damn potato juice you've ever had.
That's just Great. You remember what we
Get
talked
that
about?
smashed off French fries.
Yeah, I know. I less than a week ago had 4 tubes shoved down my throat, so chugging whiskey by the jar and damn it.
Why don't you just hook up an IV drip?
Yeah, been there, done that. It's enough for
I
a
do
week.
have quite a few of those around here still.
You know,
Just fill up a bag.
Joey's arm probably looks like my hand did back in February.
They stuck me there.
Holy
They
shit.
stuck me somewhere over here. I can't remember where, but
Yikes.
they stuck me here, here, and they had trouble finding this vein because you can probably see the bruise
Yeah.
that
yeah.
around left.
Yeah.
They stuck me in this one.
Those of you that are listening to the podcast, congratulations. You're actually
Check on
not
that one.
needing to watch all of this stuff. Congratulations. I got to see it live.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Joseph is proving his holiness.
See what you did there.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me holes to choose from.
Thanks.
Oh, no. No. We are not going Garfunkel and Oates here tonight.
Oy.
Well, is that considered a vegetable if it's made out of potatoes?
Get the mustache and the
It's
afro.
it's a salad, I think.
You know what?
Salad.
On the subject of
I'm gonna
loopholes,
call it potato.
fiddly-dee potatoes.
So, yeah, next week we'll have Jacksepticeye on the show. That's great. Thanks. Appreciate that. Some people don't.
Hey, I'd welcome it.
So, back on topic a bit, a meme
Oh, yeah,
came
we've got a
across.
show, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we do. A meme came across right before we went to air that actually kind of goes to this, because one of the things that we hear a lot when people want to be dicks about LGBTQ is, traditional marriage in the Bible, right? Well, this meme says, I believe in traditional biblical marriage. One man and his sister, one man and his dead brother's wife, one man and one woman and her servants, one man and his rape victim, one man and many women, one man and 700 women and 300 concubines, one man, one woman and her slaves, one soldier and his virgin prisoners. Just not one man and one man. That would be immoral.
Oh, you missed out.
Dad.
Was it your father-in-law's
Yeah.
concubines on the roof?
Yes, and your own father as well.
Your own
'cause,
father. After you get him drunk.
Concubines on the roof.
That's not really a marriage, though.
That was David.
I'm
That
working
wasn't
on it.
a
Okay, I'm
marriage,
getting
though.
there.
Joseph, that was a booty call, not a marriage.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Double booty call.
Did you know that Did you know that the Vatican didn't give a whit about marriage until, I think it was Second Vatican. It was about 13th century.
Yeah.
Marriage wasn't even a sacrament. I mean, they didn't
it was considered like a business contract between families. They didn't give a damn about it.
Yeah, they thought that tickly bits were impure, so they didn't want to have anything to do with that. So,
if only they'd stuck to their guns back then.
Yeah, and a priest's presence in a marriage wasn't required until the early 16th century, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, religion has no monopoly on marriage. Sorry.
Nope.
All right, easy one there.
And in fact, what's missing in the Bible? How to get married. If God gave a damn about you, think that would be kind of important that he might kind of put in there.
That's an interesting. You know what? Hold on a second. That's an interesting piece. There's a lot of This is perfect.
Abortion.
It's not in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we went ahead and we mentioned about that earlier. But exactly right. There are things that are not in the Bible. And for those of you that have not seen the movie, I can't advocate it as being a great movie, but I'm going to make the reference to it. It was A Few Good Men. There's a scene where they're going through the court drama and they're trying to make some kind of a proof about Do you do what it tells you to do in the instruction manual that's for here on the base? Yes, sir. That's what we do. We follow the rules. We do exactly what's in the book because that's what we're supposed to do. That's great. Here you go. You're witness now. Yeah. So tell me in the book where you're supposed to go for food, for lunch, dinner. Oh, that's not in the manual. But it's important. Why don't you know what to do if it's not in the book? If you say that's what you have to do, because math isn't in the Bible, language isn't in the Bible, driving on the left or the right-hand side of the street isn't in the Bible.
But it is in James Bond.
Internal combustion engine information is not in the Bible. Chemistry, physics, cosmology. Well, actually, wait a second. Cosmology is wrong.
Wait.
Yeah, they like to think cosmology's in there. It's kind of a fiction version.
I go back to it. You know, chemistry's not in the Bible, which is really too bad because I really, really, really wish they'd given me the ingredients for that bitter water thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's easy, Joseph. It's the rancid blood and shit off the slaughterhouse floor.
The dust and the dirt from the temple floor.
Yeah, that's what I said, because that's where they sacrificed thousands of animals
and burnt them.
So it makes me wonder then, you know, so if the woman is supposed to drink that as a fidelity test or a, as I call it, a God-endorsed abortion, yeah, I don't know. Faced with having to drink that or just confess that you were unfaithful, I don't know. Yeah. That's a tough call.
Yeah, but if say you're unfaithful, don't you get stoned? And not the good kind.
Are there any women here today?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like the witch trial. As soon as you're on trial, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're dead either way. It's just a question of where your soul is going to go.
Yeah. But you know what? We've got all this stuff going on at this point. We might as well just bring in our medical ringer. Hey, Bridge! So, we're talking about all the stuff that you could drink that's scraped up from the floor, that's leftover bits and pieces of poultry and ox and blood and dirt and dust. And
I'm really regretting having had dinner now.
Yeah, well, you know, so...
if you want a modern version of that, just scrape under the fridge a bit.
Yeah, or the stove.
I just bought some
Probably the
sugar,
stove.
okay? So, chill.
Yeah, so, Bridget, even with the idea that you've got all of this, and, of course, water being so filtered as we know of it now, your basic opinion, and I know that you're not exactly a doctor, but I'm kind of guessing that with some medical knowledge you got, this is probably a really bad combination of stuff to drink and ingest, wouldn't you think?
I would be thinking food poisoning. I mean,
it would have to be something pretty severe to induce a miscarriage, though.
You'd think.
Like as in, if by some chance she survives it, I'm thinking sterility or paralysis or...
You basically have to send the body into shock shutdown for that to happen.
Yeah, we've had that enough this week. Let's not do that again. But
yeah,
I mean, old leftover blood, old leftover pieces of whatever bird stuff is hanging around. That can't be good for the human body in and of itself.
And who knows where the water comes from? Do they mix all that stuff in?
Yeah.
But the thing is, abortion is not in the Bible to kind of bring it back on topic. I mean, these street corner, anti-abortionists, there's absolutely nothing about it in there.
Nope, just cutting off guys, tongues and balls with the jawbone of an ass.
Yeah.
Actually, before the Bronze Age?
The whole Christian angle to the anti-abortion movement, that didn't happen until what is around the mid '80s or something. Some evangelical came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess unfortunately he just yelled and screamed loud enough, got enough sympathy because he managed to worm it into some people's moral code that this was biblically
Okay.
wrong.
According to Wikipedia, yes, I know Wikipedia.
Hey, we're all guilty.
That's a good start. Come on.
The United
Don't have-
States
Yeah.
pro-life movement started in the late 1960s
Oh, okay.
as a response to a number of organizations that were formed to mobilize opinion against the legalization of abortion.
Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
But
whoa,
it wasn't
wait a-
mainstream then, though.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Because even in the early 70s, even the GOP platform
The
said that they took no position on it one way or the other until
Yeah.
the
Hey.
late 70s.
Here's a thought.
NRLC, or the National Right to Life Committee, was formed in 1968. Australia had their own formed in 1970. And the description pro-life was adopted by the Right to Life anti-abortion movement in the United States following the Supreme Court 1973 decision Roe v. Wade, which held that a woman may terminate her pregnancy prior to the viability of the fetus outside of the womb and may also terminate her pregnancy, quote, subsequent to viability for the preservation of life or health of the mother.
So this all became a response to a, get these out of the way, basically a medical scientific advancement, which basically becomes a societal advancement.
Pretty much.
Religion is always, religion. It's a dictate, okay, and it's a moral dictate. It would become a full-fledged dictate if it didn't have the rest of society holding it in check. But it's trying desperately to make itself seem relevant. So it's always taking a fringe, quote-unquote, moral issue.
Yeah,
Because, and latching on it to try to make themselves... They take something, quote-unquote, controversial and just hijack it to try to make themselves seem relevant.
And doesn't it seem strange that they almost always pick the side that's on the wrong side of history?
Yeah.
Even the Jewish law allows for abortion.
For those of you who are not familiar with Roe versus Wade, in June of '69, Norma L. McCorvey discovered that she was pregnant with her third child. She returned to Dallas, Texas, among family and friends, where they attempted to assist, where they advised her to assert falsely that she had been raped in order to obtain a legal abortion, with understanding that Texas law allowed abortion in cases of rape and incest. And it was and essentially the district attorney Henry Wade represented Texas, tried to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court against Miss McCorvey, who was under the alias Jane Roe, and the court ruled in favor of Roe 7-2.
Now, let's back up a second and kind of bring this back onto back into the line of the original point of this whole thing now, because we've now got a piece that we hadn't really played with at this point. Religion isn't just dictatorial. It's not just you will do because we're going to punish you if you don't.
Really?
Well, besides that, it's reactive. It's not proactive. And I'm bringing this out because I have heard on so many occasions, especially, well, we've heard this trope with the Quran specifically. The Quran knew stuff, had explained things that were scientific, that there was no way Muhammad or anyone else could have possibly known at that time. Stuff to do with genetics, or the speed of light, or a whole bunch of other things. But there was no way to know that until this information was actually learned and discerned, and then, oh, look, we've known it all along.
Well, as far as the Quran goes, a lot of that stuff actually was discovered by other people before anybody wrote it in the Quran, or before the time Muhammad supposedly lived too.
Oh yeah, the Greeks knew the Earth was round, but
Oh yeah,
I think both have.
and like Hippocrates wrote about because you get the embryonic stage crap about the Quran. Hippocrates wrote about having seen what he thought was an embryo 1,000 years before that crap. And some of what he wrote, you can actually see it manifest in the Quran, but both of them are wrong.
And then you got stuff like, what was it called? Was it the Da Vinci Code that said that if you go stepping through the Bible in whatever Greek or Yiddish or whatever the hell it was, with whatever pattern, you
Aramaic.
find different pieces of history that were explained out, but they never seem to use this very same system to find out what's going to happen. Did we not read any Isaac Asimov, the Foundation series? You know, it'd be really, really convenient if you stepped forward instead of keep looking backwards. Be proactive, reactive.
Well, it's these things with any sufficiently large section of text. If you run it through the basic computer algorithm and tell it to check different sequences of words and letters, and then come up with whatever looks like closest to an English sentence out of it, you'll find something on there. And there's universally no sort of solid rationale for why they've picked that sequence. It's just something that they've pulled out of their ass on there, and they said, oh, and then this apparently can be shoehorned with great effort to fit this.
And that's true, because
why?
They've also... Well, hold on a second.
I mean, the same thing's classically been done with Moby Dick.
Yep, exactly the one I was thinking of. If memory serves, if you do a particular one with Moby Dick, you find the information about supposedly Kennedy being shot in the 1960s in Texas. Okay, that's all well and good. How come you didn't find that before?
We're not going to bring up Nostradamus, are we?
No, because Nostradamus was just he just wrote a whole bunch of weird stuff because he probably ingested some really, really funky stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where's the chemistry for that? Damn it!
Yeah.
Well,
Nostradamus is the literary version of Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it.
And that's even before you get over into Revelation, I believe is the book in particular. That's
yes.
You got to remember, France circa 1500 was a very kind of open, free love place where, they didn't frown on certain herbal remedies.
You're joking, right?
Have you seen some of the things they used as remedies?
Oh, no. I am putting the brakes. I know you're the host, Shujin. I get that. You're in charge. I am putting the brakes on where this is going because I've seen where this road leads.
Oh, no, that's much later. That was, what, 1700s?
Doesn't matter. Full
Leak
stop,
it.
full
Okay,
bore.
wait.
I'm sure you're thinking the how to revive a drowned man, if you remember what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I was
It
thinking
involves
more
a pipe.
Okay,
Yep.
see now, moving right along.
Oh, come on! and it bellows, and yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
they're mostly dead. See. All right. So
Yes.
the point of it is, you want to go ahead and you want to carry your Bible all over the place, and you want to go ahead and use it as your defense mechanism for freaking everything. and it's pathological that you can't put it down, fine. Why don't they open it? Why don't they actually say, hold on a second, let me get it? Why don't they have little tabs that actually you say, this is the piece that you want, this is the piece that you want? Why
Well,
can't they?
Because Hollywood's to be trusted, they can't because all the pages have been cut out to fit, some snub nose or something.
That actually is a point.
Yeah.
Because,
it's like
if
you
can't
got the
defend
Bible, open the Bible, you've got backup.
Well, yeah, if you can't defend your position properly, shoot the other guy.
Yeah, like any dictate.
I was going to say like any other dick would, but a dick dictate. Yeah.
Hey. In my world, shooting the other guy is defending your position.
And that works very well when you're in Florida too. By the way, Chris, I see what you've got there.
Yeah, sure. What I've got here, if Shujin can put it on full screen, is the assassinations foretold in Moby Dick, and so they've got one here for Gandhi, Leon Trotsky, Martin Luther King, on there. And you can see basically the method they've done here. They've picked a certain sequence of letters, put them all in a grid, and then just done a word search.
The only book I know that's written like this is the Torah. So, where the word letter positions never change.
Yeah, and that's a point they made is with Hebrew because it's, if I understand correctly, doesn't include any vowels. Means that you can take make arrangements of letters into words much more easily. But here they've just highlighted them there and say they've just done like a kid's word search puzzle by selecting pretty much random sequences of letters out of the book on there, and once you know what you're looking for, you can do a simple computer algorithm to look for the name Gandhi in any row or column and just run through every conceivable sequence of letters, whether it's like odd numbered letters, even numbered letters, prime numbered letters, whatever. And even doing that, you can see on some of the first few examples are nice straight lines where they're all in the predictions are in rows and columns, so we've got the word name Gandhi vertically followed by the bloody deed going across. But when you get beyond the first three, you can see that even that breaks down.
The only thing that comes to my mind, what is somebody
one second.
doing
and they have to then start picking letters at virtually random positions off of the grid to try and get something that will fit.
Micro cherry picking.
Yeah, and by the time you get to Kennedy, which is the one Shujin referenced, you can see they have pretty much just got a large grid of 30 by 15 letters or something, and picked ones random that more or less make a straight line to try and squeeze something in to fit. And it looks like they've just dumped a spider's web over the grid at some point.
This guy would be awesome in the Sunday paper puzzle column.
It's just, you might as well just take the contents of a Scrabble bag. I mean,
I mean that is literally what they're doing. They're converting these books into a Scrabble bag and seeing what words they can come up with the aid of a computer. You can do it in.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to buy 2 boxes of Alphabet cereal, and I'm going to dump them out on the floor, take a picture of it, analyze it, and see if I can find out when Donald Trump is going to get hit by a 1964 Lincoln.
We don't even have to wait that long. I have Alphabet pasta in the cupboard right now, So when we're done, I will have some alphabet pasta, and I'll let you know what I predict.
Okay, and this is, I think, the best example. If you can see on the scene or look it up if you're listening, is for the assassination of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin in '95.
I am not drunk enough.
Who is doing this and why?
Right. What? 1 second. I'll just turn off the screen share and come back.
Well, the quick answer to
what they're doing is that they're trying to. So one of the big arguments for that's been put forward to tout religion has been the argument from prophecy that the Bible makes all of these prophecies on there, and that they've all been proved true. Now you run into a slight problem when you go through the prophecies in the Bible, and you find out that virtually none of them have come true. The ones that they tout appearing to have come true have often come true in a way that is a tremendous stretch, or like 1,000 years after the time span specified in the Bible. And so then people turn to these code things to try and dig up more prophecies. But as was demonstrated with the Moby Dick, you can take any sufficiently large volume of text in a language that's got a good variety of words.
Yeah.
Proverbial typing monkeys.
Well,
yeah, and turn it into a Scrabble bag and pull out virtually whatever you want. And there is no legitimacy or rationale behind the method they use to select the letters or the order of the letters or anything. It's just some numerological shit that they pull out of their asses.
Well, speaking as somebody who's written a novel-length story, and someone who's... Sorry?
You still haven't answered the motive for doing that. Why?
Dalan, you can get the software is available online, I believe, for doing this. So if you've got the text of your novel,
I should do that.
Prophecies in there. And then maybe we could come back to that on a show sometime.
The motivation for
somebody link me to that.
I will see if I can find the routine for doing it.
The motivation behind doing it is the same motivation as questioning the moon landing and all this other stuff. To stir up a hornet's nest. That's what people like to do. They like to stir up a hornet's nest so that they somehow feel important. Now, what I would find absolutely funny, just absolutely hilarious, would be of all the times that what is it? The rapture has been predicted over the last couple thousand years. I'd absolutely, even with the implications of what it would mean, I'd absolutely laugh my ass off if it turned out it already happened, and everybody that's stuck here right now is just too damn irredeemable.
Yeah.
And 1 second, just since you just gave me this great opening for irredeemable, Unrenewed Tech finally joins us. So good morning, Chief.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
The beard is back.
Weeks up.
Yeah, you want to talk about conspiracy theories? I got this one here. I could not believe it. My jaw hit the ground when I saw this one.
Yeah.
Chemtrails on a freaking billboard.
Hold on, time out. Real quick on that. I want people to understand, the ones who can't see, what you have is a billboard that is talking about chemtrails, something that we know is bullshit.
Crap.
They have spent money on this. And if the group behind this is a religious organization,
and I really hope
that money comes from your taxes.
Well, no, if it's a religious organization, it comes from your donations. But
well, that too.
That aside, I really hope they didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, because speaking as a graphic designer, that just hurts. I'm looking at it right now, and it just hurts.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just,
come on. You're using non-bold impact, for crying out loud, in all caps.
Well, almost all.
Well, what's funny is the line that should be standing out the most is not in all caps. It just gets 3 exclamation marks after it.
You know what happened? I know what happened there, Joey. That was the management that decided on the final image of the billboard and the layout and everything else.
Well, they couldn't find anybody.
Arseholes that go, why do you need all this $5,000 for a server? My son, who's still in junior high, can set up, or my daughter, who's still in junior high, can set up the local computer in our basement that's 15 years old to act as an exchange server. I'll just have them do it.
yeah. And just a bit of a geography lesson for everybody. The town they're talking about, Banff, Alberta, is 3.5 hours west of where I live. This shit's hitting pretty close to home.
Yeah.
It's like
there's probably an abandoned billboard. I mean,
No,
that
there
little-
literally is no such thing because
that little
they
red
pull so much.
that little red sign down there. That's probably the name of the holding company that owns the sign itself.
okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's probably like Pattison or somebody like that, a company up here. But yeah, just I saw this, and as soon as I saw the website address, lookupbanff.com, I just went, somebody needs to DDoS these people.
Yeah, good. But it's almost there because, I mean, just like roll your eyes.
By the way,
When it comes to billboards, here's the thing. They're either owned by a company who's leasing the land that the billboard is on from the landowner, or they belong to the landowner themselves, and I've seen a couple of those because one particular landowner in Ohio felt the need to put a whole lot of commandments in sequential billboards across his farmland, right along Route I-7. It's either I-71 South or I-70 East or West, excuse me. But yeah, it kind of tickles me every time I see it because.
Yeah, that's something really quickly just to get it out there. You want to put up a sign on your private property? We got no problem with that. By the way, just to let you guys know about that one. You want to put stuff on public property? That's everybody's got a stake in that. That's where we've got a problem. But yeah, you want to go ahead and resurrect the whole thing that Burma Shave used to do? Go right ahead. Your place. Who cares?
But when it is somebody's private land and it's a blank sign that they lease out to various companies over the course of its existence, you can't just go up and paint whatever the hell you want on it and expect to get away with it. You can be sued by the landowner.
Yeah, trespassing comes to mind for one thing, but be that as it may.
Vandalism.
Well, one last note on the billboard. I don't think it's chemtrails down. I don't think it's from the Banff Tourism Board. I think they're worried that people are they're flying over. Nobody's landing.
No. Well, for one thing, Banff doesn't have a big enough airport. It's actually a relatively small town nestled inside of some mountains.
But if they got
there.
rid of one of the M or one of the F's and replaced the N with an M, I bet you their tourism would skyrocket.
Yeah. Look up, Banff. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just reading the rest of the article that the sign's centered around, and there's a Harvard scientist, a gentleman by the name of David Keith. He's a climate researcher, and part of his research involves potentially trying to alter the atmosphere in some way to help. What is it here? To limit the effects of climate change. Now, again, it's one of many theories that's being tossed out there, to try to stop the onslaught of what could or could not be that caused by us or accelerated by us, and is a natural thing, whatever. But as soon as you hear about that, altering the atmosphere, and then you get a whole bunch of yokels who just don't know how to science looking up and seeing jets with these, condensation trails, or contrails as they're called, and they think, oh, they're going to sterilize us. Apparently, this guy's received legitimate death threats to the point he's had to have the police called. Because there are so many people who have bought into this crap. And the thing is, if you try to actually explain it, you're nothing but you're part of the system. You're part of the man. I heard this from this guy. I listen and believe because that guy has a book under his arm. You see where this is going?
It's the same kind of thing.
It is.
I mean, if somebody goes ahead and says, I want to believe this, or I do believe this, whatever, we could go ahead and we could actually say, okay, show us your information, and people will just go ahead and say, well, either no, or you're wrong, and we get to be the ones who are dicks because we get to say, show me.
My personal favorite is when they go, well, the information's out there, you just got to look for it. You'll find it if you go looking for it.
You're the one making the fucking claim. So.
Or when one person goes up and goes, citation needed.
They don't care.
Yeah. When they go, citation needed, and the answer is the internet. This has actually been put forward as an argument to prove somebody's claim. It says, oh, I read it on the internet. That was the full stop end of the argument to them, to which the other side just kind of went, and for those of you watching, I just face-palmed.
But you're talking across two different types of people, because you've got somebody who doesn't question anything, who depends on these fear-mongers or whatever. They to anybody rational-minded, you cite your sources. No, you're not being a dick. It's actually a requirement, because, I mean, why are you telling me this if it's unfounded? I mean...
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that we are being dicks when we say we want your proof, we want your information. It's that we are viewed as being
dicks by them
because we ask.
Yeah, I understand this totally.
Yeah, because we don't believe just from listening.
Because we're skeptical.
If I can reduce this, what's the Latin expression? Reductio ad absurdum. There's two types of human out there. There's those who...
Dead and alive.
...know how to survive. People who can survive on their own, and then you have humans who depend on other humans to tell them how to survive. And that comes down, that's going even instinctively. I mean, that's how it works, because, I mean, as soon as you have a non-critical thinker who depends on another human to think for them, it becomes a question of trust in the person more than it becomes whatever they're saying. I mean, if they trust
me, I know how to rub two sticks together.
Then they're going to defend till the death whatever this person says, until this person doesn't prove to be a trustworthy source anymore. Which also explains why during religious debates, why people always on the side of religion, they're trying to make their opponent look untrustworthy, just to try to paint them in a bad light, so that their following won't listen to them.
Character assassination.
Yeah.
Gee, and the two big debates that sort of made a big footprint out there, namely Bill Nye v. Ken Ham, and
I have this book.
Spam.
Oh.
Ken Spam.
That was a wonderful video, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. And, Matt Dillahunty versus Saitan Bruggencate.
Oh, that was
jeez, I just wanted to slap Sai. I really did.
No. But think about it. Both of them started kind of the same way when Ham and Bruggencate opened. It was the first volley was the attempted character assassination of their opponent. And Nye went total high road, as I recall. He started off with "These are the facts" right off the bat. Although I think Dillahunty, again, it's been a while since I watched it.
I don't think Dillahunty went the character assassination route.
No,
not
at all.
No. Sai 10 spent like his first half an hour playing clips of Dillahunty saying stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Quote mining and
Some of it was
So
out of
when
context. Some of the
Dilla-
quotes were incomplete.
Yeah, so when Dillahunty got up, he's like, I kind of feel bad. I've already had half an hour.
You know, to tie this all together, you know, the thing going on here is that, you know, somebody rational-minded, they present the facts. They expect the listener to check up on them. The person presenting the case, their presence isn't really required, because as soon as you present the facts, well, that person can go away, and the listener can check up on what they said to see if it's reality, if it matches up with reality or not.
well,
But when it comes to preachers and the Bible, the presence of the person is absolutely required.
let's go back to the. Okay, how many of
Because
us in
it's
the
a
panel
trust
here?
issue.
Yeah, how many in the panel here did debates in school, like formal
I did.
debates?
Yep,
Wait,
I did.
what kind of debate?
Formal, like
Normal.
My
You
sister
get
did that.
some,
My
like,
sister did. My
the-
sister was on mock trial. That was fun to watch.
yeah. So you have okay. So Heretic Woman, back me up on this. You
Yes.
have the affirmative and the negative,
Yes.
like the pro and con of the be it resolved topic.
Mm-hmm.
You have your openings, you have your statements, you have your rebuttals, all that. But there was one phrase that I think every debater feared, and it was one that the opposing team could call at any time. Point of order, or point of something, which was basically the citation needed. If you made a point, you were expected in that atmosphere of debate to cite your source, and if you didn't do it right away, you could get called on it right there. Basically, you could get called out on your BS in front of everybody, which means if you're coming into something like this, have your shit together.
Yes.
And you sure as hell don't see that. Like, could you imagine Ken Hammond one of those things? Yeah, point of order. Yeah, point of order. I have this book.
Have a book.
Yeah, that I'm going to take out from under my arm. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, I'm not Eli
I'm going
Bosnick.
to
I do
choose
a terrible
this
Australian
phrase
accent.
and not the opposing
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
going back to that,
Well,
I actually asked this out on Facebook a while back to do with abortion, kind of circling around again, because it's basically been shown in the Book of Numbers that there is a type of abortion being described, and that it is endorsed by the church, or in this case, by God. So I put that out there to somebody, and I said, all right, and I was polite as hell. I said, somebody please point to me in the Bible where it says that abortion is bad. And somebody came back with two completely out of left field psalms that made no freaking sense whatsoever.
Oh,
You're
boy.
not interpreting them through religious lenses.
Well, yeah, okay, look, these are actual, I need these to see. These are not God glasses,
Interpreter.
okay?
No, you need God glasses. You don't need to see reality. Do you know what the Psalms were? Did you write them down?
No, I don't have them off the top of my head, unfortunately. Although
Did
I'm
you
pretty
delete
sure.
the post, or do you still have it?
Well,
Were you there?
I was responding. I was responding. This was a comment that I put on somebody else's post. Just because, again, I was curious. I actually had a genuine curiosity as to where are you getting this? And then this guy writes out these two psalms. I'm like, I thanked him. That's as far as I took it, because otherwise I could go, this makes no sense. And then it would be 12 paragraphs of him. Look, as much as I
Telling
talk about,
you're stupid because you don't understand.
well, yeah, and as much as I love watching people sort of hang themselves with their own rope, I just wasn't in the mood that day. So, again, even when they try to use the book, assuming they even open it, honestly, I would say the majority of them have absolutely no flipping clue what it is they're actually holding under their arm or cradling, as though it's the most important thing, as if it's their most important possession.
Sorry.
I would argue that the contents of the Bible, it doesn't matter what's in it. It's just a symbol
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take you to task on that one, and I'll show you why.
It does matter what's in it.
Let me take this
No,
one
because the
hold
person
on.
holding it can say absolutely anything they want,
All
and
right,
they can
hold on.
find something to justify that in it.
All right, let me take you to
Quote,
task
unquote,
on this one because
justify.
I'm actually gonna use part of the what I was actually thinking about for my closing. I'm actually gonna pull it right here. Brigid, I'm gonna need for you on this one for just a second. I have a medical book. You have a medical book. My medical book looks the same as yours, and it arguably has maybe the same pages. It says this. It's got the same title. It's got all the same information on the front cover as what you've got on yours. Are they, just by looking at it, could a good argument be made that they are the same manual of information? Would you expect them to be the same information? For instance, if one said DSM-4, the other one said DSM-4, had the same publication dates on both of them, same ISB numbers, you're going to expect them to be the same information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, here's my Joey. What are you doing? First
Well,
episode. Okay.
You were talking about your book and her book. I just thought I'd get my book.
Okay. He's got the first aid for soldiers book.
Yeah,
It's the
but
Holy
if I'm
Crap
looking
Book
at
Club.
but if I'm looking at the ISBN numbers on them and they're the same ISBN numbers, then I would expect it to be the same book.
FM 2111.
Okay, so let's bring this out a little bit differently now. I've got DSM-4. You've got DSM-5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are still dealing with a DSM, slightly different version numbers, but you'd expect that the majority of the information is still going to be the same. You would expect that.
Yeah.
Unless there's a major breakthrough in knowledge.
Right. But most of the information, the vast majority of the pages are still going to have the same information. The vast majority. Pretty much the same. We can pretty well expect that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some revisions, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, nuance more than anything else for stuff that we've known for a long time.
As a technical writer, you'll see, well, as having had some minor technical writing experience and having it on my resume, because of it, I've had documentation for technology where the guide that was written was like version 4, and then maybe the next one that came out was revision 4.1 or point A or point, Roman numeral whatever.
I had 9 versions of the Linux cookbook.
Right. Well, but the point is that based upon whoever's doing the setup for the revisions, the difference between 4.0 and 4.1 might be extremely minor, but the difference between 4.5 and 5.1 might be extreme because one is version 4.x and the other one's version 5.x. It all really depends on the scheme that you use. So with the medical guides, which you and I, Shujin, don't really have a whole lot of knowledge of, that could be, that little bit of difference, the 4 and 5, could actually be a major difference.
Where's this point going?
Okay, well, I'm getting to that. My point is that the DSM has hundreds of pages to it, if memory serves. That'd be about right. Okay, from one revision to the next, even a major number revision, the majority, we would expect that the majority of those hundreds of pages will still have, if not identical, very similar information transferring from one revision to the next. Nuanced perhaps a little bit differently with new information, but otherwise mostly the same information.
And I'll tell you what, that would be one hell of a fun book to do a Bible prophecy search in.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I'm going with this. The information that's put into a medical journal, the DSM, comes from scientific, repeated, controlled experimentation and observation. It's stuff that
and
can
some
be
politics.
be that as it may, but
Yeah.
the vast majority of it is stuff that can be shown. This happens this way, and these people have found it to be as such, and consistently enough that we believe that this is a worldwide thing and can be trusted through the world. I may be going a little overboard on this one, but that's the whole point of doing a scientific journal, medical journal. Sounds right so far. Yeah?
What about the versions?
Hold on. But that's the whole point of doing these kinds of things. We think that we have identified these particular items happen on a consistent basis enough that it should be worldwide known because it should be worldwide expected. Here's where I'm going with this. I have a Bible. I was raised Roman Catholic. We have a Bible that was in this Roman Catholic church that I went to as a kid. My late wife also went to a Roman Catholic church when she was a kid and such, and they had a slightly different version. And the folks that go to a Baptist church are going to have a slightly reworked version. The Ten Commandments are not the same from one to another, and those are the big ones. Now, here's where my point is. Even if somebody says it's in the Bible, or it's not in the Bible, it doesn't really much matter, we have consistently said, you believe in, do you want me to say if I believe in God? Okay, which God? What's to stop us from saying, okay, that's in the Bible, that's not in the Bible? Which Bible? Which revision? Which year's publication worth? Which translation? Whose translation?
But again, motive is everything. And the motive for the different versions of the Bible is basically political. I mean, it's just basically a group of religious leaders who want their own cut of the pie, who have split off from the rest, and then they mark their differences with the other factions after the fact.
Look at Westboro. To them, at least from what I think I heard Nathan Phelps say it, to them, the King James Bible is the one true Bible.
Which is ridiculous because it's the most screwed up and altered one out of the bunch.
And it doesn't even
Okay.
matter because they pick and choose whatever they want from it anyway.
I
You
know,
did hear-
but I mean,
I'm not
You did hear me
contradicting
say
you about it.
Westboro Baptist Church, did you not?
yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I realize it's the nut
Yeah.
jobs, but
Now,
I hear that a lot, ooh, the King James Version. I'm like, first of all, if the Westboro Baptists knew anything about King James, they would implode.
He's
Has
gay,
he-
man.
Yeah, he was gay, hello. But, they tout that one, and first of all, there is a clear record of how and why the King James Bible was altered. In fact, one of the best stories that Christians always like to talk about was the adulteress at the well, go and sin no more, that one. That was not in the Bible before the King James Version. The original Greek manuscripts did not have that story. It was an apocryphal story that was being told at that time. King James, and it was popular. People liked the story. So King James kind of went, well, everybody really likes that story. It really ought to be in there, so put it in there, people. And they did. And that's a major example because Christians love to use that story all the time, and it's not even from the Bible.
Yeah. By the way, Joey, I know that you've had a couple of different images that you've been trying to get in there, and I haven't been able to sneak it in there.
Oh no, it's fine. That I keep putting them up because it's giving other people ideas and feeding, and that's kind of why I keep doing them. But this one I had to share because it made me laugh.
Good to
Yeah.
get it off.
By the way, Joey, it's good to see you up and running again.
Not
So,
necessarily
Joey, do you
running,
want
but
to explain for anyone who's
That-
catching up on the audio feed what
that's what I'm
one
trying.
piece you've posted?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Now, We've all seen the memes where it's usually somebody who is an atheist in some way smashing a religion of some sort, usually Christianity. Well, this one is obviously a Christian attempting to do the same to an atheist. It says, atheism. Believing that if you can get away with it, it must be okay. That includes, and hey, let's count how many of these appear in the Bible. Rape, robbery, murder, torture, pedophilia, tax evasion, racketeering, theft, arson, embezzlement, drug distribution, kidnapping, lying, cheating, etc. Unfortunately, atheists don't draw the line at other atheists as they are fair game too. Since there is no, quote, ultimate moral authority that will make you account for your misdeeds, then there, as in the possessive there,
Yeah.
truly is no justice. Isn't that wonderful? Now,
And apparently, this font does not have apostrophes included.
indeed, but
Helvetica.
allow
Apparently,
me-
somebody failed their basic education.
I will not stoop so low as to comment on someone's grammar on the internet.
Oh, I would.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, leave that to people like me.
No.
Anyway, going on though.
I'm
do it all
just
the
going
time.
to focus. I'm just going to focus on the, let's see, rape, robbery, murder, torture, pedophilia, tax evasion, racketeering, theft, arson, embezzlement, drug distribution, kidnapping, lying, cheating. Let's see. There's the Crusades. There's
Well, hold on.
That's-
Hold on.
sedition.
I don't think arson is in the Bible.
Oh, yes, it
Burning
is.
bush.
Oh.
Burning bush.
No. The best one.
Jericho.
Sodom and Jericho, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Judges.
So you
Uh,
said. So you said it's
uh,
fires.
Our
I didn't.
One second.
Fires. I rained down sulfur. Okay, there's a slight difference.
No,
It's still
okay.
deliberate.
Semantic.
Okay. The best one I go to for arson in the Bible is Sampson, as in Sampson and Delilah.
Hey there, Delilah.
Yeah, who took, was it 300 foxes, tied their tails together, set them on fire, and threw them into his enemy's cornfields.
Yeah, but that's
300 foxes?
That's foxes. They deserve it, right, Joe?
Yeah, but it is one of the most bizarre
I don't know if
arsenal
Keylix
attacks
is listening,
ever.
so I'm gonna shut
No,
up on
don't
that
cut
one.
your hair.
Yeah.
I just did.
That's all right.
Uh-oh.
That's why you're so weak.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
No.
No.
If
You do
anything,
realize
Julie
it
is
took
living
them-
proof.
You do realize it took them 3,000% of the normal dosage of sedative to get me restrained.
Yeah, Joey is proof positive that the story of Samson was a complete and utter fabrication. Because no matter what length his hair is, this son of a bitch is indestructible.
Not
Nearly.
unbreakable. We
Not
have established this much. Not unbreakable. There's a very fine difference between indestructible and unbreakable.
Yeah,
true.
But now we can't
he's very,
see your
very
pubic hair.
bendable too. You know, bend to almost break.
Yeah, let's not have that. All right, we gotta see about wrapping up in just a couple of moments, and I'm
I
not
can't
even sure
wrap.
I'm gonna
I'm
close.
sorry.
That's okay. I understand. You're Caucasian. It happens.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just I don't have the acumen, the mental acumen for it.
No, it's got everything to do with it. Who are you kidding?
I was thinking, Joey's meme on there is, as one of you said, keeps coming up on there. This whole on their absolute morality
Oh,
guff.
God.
Yeah, that without someone watching you, 24/7 on there, then you must suddenly turn out to be, an evil, vicious brute.
Well,
So everyone needs a dictator.
Guys, hold on just a second really quickly. Brigid, thank you very much. I know you got to get going. Just wanted to give you a quick night. And thank you, hon. You take care.
Thanks.
Take
Hey,
care.
Bridget.
See you next week.
Hope so. Okay, sorry about that. You know,
Yeah, I was
thanks,
going to say on there, and I think one of my favourite responses was I've seen it attributed to Penn Jillette. Was that I've sort of raped, murdered, and arsoned exactly as
Yes.
much as I want to during my life.
Which
The
is
amount is zero.
zero.
Yeah.
And if your number is not zero, there's something the hell wrong with you. And I can attest I've heard him say it in person, so he did say it.
So, Joseph, let me go ahead and kick you off to see about closing. What last item do you want to drop in here before we get out?
Which Joseph?
You are Joseph.
He refers to you as Joseph.
Okay.
Why? Because he seems to have this kind of international courtesy thing that he doesn't share with me.
Because I called you Joey.
You can call me Pepe from now on.
Okay, meme master, go right ahead. What do you want to close with? Quick.
Well, absolute morality is basically dictate. Because the morality is innate and it's directly linked to our survival instinct. And, well, we as humans have discovered through trial and error that everybody else's well-being is in our own interest. So that's where the code comes from. Well,
altruism. Part of altruism is, being concerned for others.
Well, sure. I mean, like for example, okay, kind of going off on a tangent, but as a taxpayer, I'm perfectly willing to pay taxes for the education and even welfare for others because if people are better educated, and get out of whatever rut they're in, they're my future customers. So if they get better paying jobs and are more educated, it's better for me. So, that's just an example of a moral, a moral decision. But religion is basically, they've just hijacked that, and they've transformed it into dictate, and they just slap the morals label on it. And I mean, it's just a label. It's dictate.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. Tech, since you were going ahead and doing your thing, and chiming with it, I'll give you a chance if there's something that you wanted to finish off with here.
Yeah, I listened to the Scathing Atheist podcast. Why? Because, one, it's funny as hell. And two, they're usually spot on a whole bunch of things. And one of the things that was said is that Noah went into a diatribe talking about how afraid religious people must be. The constant fear that they live in because of the people who don't believe in a God. Therefore, they're open, like what you were talking about on that picture. We're open to rape and murder and everything else, and that's the only thing keeping everybody at bay from harming them. Is God's will and God's love.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's gone, after the floating away bullshit, suddenly everybody's going to be free to do that. Well, one of the things I wish he had said, but he didn't say, was, hey, asshole, we're free to do that now. We just don't because we're more moral than your Bible. The Bible, as well as other religious texts out there, allow you to commit atrocities and label them as good acts, as moral compassly guided and bullshit like that.
If it supports the religion and the dictate, then it's good.
Exactly. Not only that, if you're doing it in the name of that dictate, that's even better.
Yeah.
But you see, we have a little thing in this country, and there was a gentleman who was just arrested for going online and making a video about how he's going to go out and commit mass murder of homosexuals and gays and lesbians and everything else, and he was going to do it in the name of Christianity. Yeah, they locked his ass up. There's a reason for that, because our laws, our secular laws, are a hell of a lot more moral than those biblical ones.
Yeah, and those laws are decided by consensus. I mean, by voters. So, you know, like I said, if we don't have the rest of society holding religion in check, look to the Middle East at what's going to happen, or look to medieval times.
Well, medieval times is a good entertainment venue. I wouldn't want to put that on them.
Yeah.
You could get a good turkey leg there.
I'd say look to the Middle East because they're using technology to do what they're doing these days.
Yeah, if you went back in time to the Dark Ages and you gave the Inquisition the technology we have now, they'd be doing the same damn thing that the Muslims are doing. The only difference is we have better technology now. That's it. There's no difference between the two.
I agree that the Islam is about 500 to 600 years behind Christianity. What was Christianity doing 500-600 years ago? Burning and killing everyone in sight. So
a witch.
Yeah, exactly. If they had bombs and they could do terrorist. Yes. Yes, a heretic, exactly. I was a witch once, but it didn't work very well.
Which witch was a heretic witch?
And, yeah. Okay. And the yeah. Deborah, that leaves the question of how much of that advancement can be credited to Christianity, rather than to it being like dragged kicking and screaming into modernity by secular society.
When you look at the Dark Ages, technologically wise, scientifically and medically, there were no advances. And anything that was thought up that could have been a potential advancement was quashed. It was either quashed if it became known, or the people who had thought it up kept it very, very quiet because they didn't want to die.
Yeah. Because, I mean, people always get hurt on Islam because of the violence, and they should. But Christianity is no different. I've had a few people say this on posts that I've read. Christianity's been domesticated. You're right. We've kind of, for the most part, yes.
They've advanced a way that they've learned to live off the rest of society.
Well, there is that, but I mean, as far as being dicks trying to kill everyone.
It wasn't so much that the societies that they were trying to get along with, it was that their divisions of themselves, all the variations, were killing each other because they were arguing over, in addition to killing people who weren't of their faith, they were killing others who were a variation of it and not their own. And they realized, they came together and they realized, listen, we're going to kill each other off, and all these other religions are going to be left behind and in power because we're going to be gone. We can't do that. We're going to have to agree to disagree on this, but we're all going to agree that Christ is Lord and blah, 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 and we're going to have the same certain basics, and then we'll be good, and we'll go kill everybody else.
Yeah.
Or torture, maim, and rape.
Yeah, but once everybody else is gone, they'll start killing each other off again.
Well, they will, and I mean, Islam has their own infighting, and they kill each other all the time too. They just haven't got to the point where they've decided that maybe they should work together, which may not actually be a bad thing, because if they can't agree, then they're not going to be as cohesive a unit as Christianity. But in the same difference, you're right. Christianity would be blowing up stuff, and they would be on crusades. It wouldn't be this ISIS caliphate crap. It would be, we're going on another crusade to, wherever to they would be trying to take back Jerusalem and all kinds of crazy shit.
I mean, look at the guy they locked up. He had a rifle. I'm not going to say which because I don't know. Guns aren't my thing. My thing are knives and bows. Okay, I like sharp, pointy things. I'm that guy.
But there's a helmet.
But, I mean, the guy had, regardless of whether it was semi or full, I don't give a damn. It was a gun. The guy had it loaded. He had it with him in his video. He definitely portrayed himself as somebody who was seriously contemplating, willing to go for it.
He was in
killing
full
a whole bunch of
camo.
people who were not of his religion.
Yeah, and I saw a picture. He was in full camo. He had the helmet, the gun. Like, if you didn't know any better, you would think he was a legitimate soldier.
And I mean, if you want to compare for any theists who are actually watching this, if you want to compare extremists or militants or fundamentalists, if you want, we'll go get an atheist fundamentalist or extremist or militant, and
Right
set it
here.
next to the Christian and the Muslim ones. And you know what the difference is going to be? The Muslim and the Christian ones are going to have really big guns and very sharp knives and shit like that, and the atheist one's going to have a really hot cup of coffee or a beer.
Well, not this one. I'll have some wine or tea, but
Well, right.
I will be
They might have
very
an caffeinated beverage or an alcoholic beverage with a side.
I'll be very side of bacon, and I'll be very happy
in
to
which
tell
case I'll have
them
a side
all.
of tofu.
Yeah, okay, but I'll be very happy to tell them what a bunch of dumbasses they are.
Of course,
You
we
know.
will end up getting shot.
Yes,
I
badly
keep
so.
on repeating the word dictate, but I mean, this is how dictates operate. I mean, this is the
Yes.
line that can be drawn all through them, whether it's a
Mhm.
communist dictate, a fascist dictate, a racist dictate, and religion is just using
I love it, Joey.
what?
I said,
religion
not
is
your
just
stuff.
Yeah.
no, Joey, yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just getting ready for my post.
You know what? I'm going to give it to you right now because I've completely lost track of who's got what to do. So do, and
Who's on first?
I know.
Yeah.
Like I said at the start here, I'm just here to meme shit up because right now my throat is killing me and the alcohol is both doing the only thing to help and the worst thing to hinder. But this is one from Stephen Hawking. I have noticed even people who claim everything is predestined and that we can do nothing to change it still look before they cross the road.
Yep.
And I've also heard a variation on that. Look both ways on a one-way street.
Yeah. And probably have lightning rods on their churches.
With that said, I think that was what? This is a pint glass, so that was what, my 8th pint tonight?
Oh, good
Oh
lord.
boy.
What are you drinking?
Too much.
The hooch.
Oh, Tillamore. I got a buddy who drinks that stuff.
Yes.
Well, I got that because it was all they had available at the time. They didn't have my usual Jameson.
If you want something strongly flavored, I've got some leftover Kraken over here. It's a rum. I'm a rum fan.
I don't drink your pussy drinks.
This won't put hair on your chest.
Anyway.
Yeah, the drinker, you're saving
See,
the
look,
embalmer some work.
Here, look at the hair on my chest. See?
Okay, look, we got enough explicit tags on this show already for crying out loud.
And your beard is just your pubic hair.
It's just the
body.
Well, see, if I let the beard grow too long, it intertwines with my chest hair, and they become one.
Okay, that visual plus the description of the of the bad water we talked about earlier. Yeah, I'm ready to have a miscarriage right about now.
I'm having a reverse erection.
Oh, you must not be faithful.
I'm going to stray.
Dalan, you anything? Yes, no?
Yes.
Stroke the beard.
There, to anybody who would come after me with a Bible under their arm or holding it out in front of them as some kind of holy talisman that's going to ward off my evil atheism, cis white maleness. A piece of advice. A piece of advice from a movie that I know a lot of people didn't like, but I'm going to say it anyway. And this is a quote from The Highlander 2.
There can be only one.
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. If you don't take it out and use it, it's going to rust.
rust.
In other words, unless you know what's inside that book front to back, don't come at me.
Come at me, bro.
Don't come at any atheist, because we and they will destroy you. And I think deep down you know this. And you know it, and that's why you hold it up. You've listened, you've believed, but you haven't done any of the legwork yourself. Because if you did, instead of standing before me, you'd be standing beside me. I'm
Good
done.
on you there. Chris?
I've not got anything to add to what Dalan
Thank
said.
you.
Wow! Wow!
I rendered somebody speechless.
Actually, I think that was my fault because I kind of passed gas and everybody's just kind of like, can we log out now, please? We don't want to smell that anymore.
Nah,
The internet is not scratch and sniff, thankfully.
I'm not.
Yes.
I don't know. It
Just-
depends on what you scratch and what you sniff.
I am almost
Eesh.
never. I am almost
just had-
never rendered speechless. Often drunk, never speechless.
I had one more thing. If there are any believers watching, stop assuming that we don't believe because we're ignorant. I get that all the time. You know, as soon as I find out you're an atheist, oh, well, have you tried talking to Jesus? And have you read this and that? Like, just stop. Because more often than not, we know more than you do. And that's why we're atheists.
I
So
talked to
just
Jesus. He owes me
admit-
$2.
Yeah.
We're
Want
grown
my
ups.
$2.
$2. $2.
No, I get these people in the crazy group all the time, and they're just like, "Oh, well, you should try. Just try." I'm like, "Okay, come on. Been there, done that. Got a stupid Bible that I threw out years ago. Like, no."
So let me cap this up with a piece I wasn't even thinking about because, like I said, what I was thinking about going with was about the different versions of the Bible. So whose Bible are we going to trust for you to tell us what is and what isn't, and what should or shouldn't? I'm going to use somebody else's bit, and I will admit that I'm using it because, well, it kind of puts a cap on this whole damn thing.
I'd
for
like
me.
this version.
Excel 2007.
It's a bit outdated.
It's
Not
a
an-
smidge.
Oh, yeah, well, it's
That's
not
the
re-
King James version.
I prefer the one from
Does
No,
it
it's-
do pivot tables?
Joseph, it's the King Gates version.
Oh my God. Ouch.
Say the truth.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh.
I regret
Now,
nothing.
I don't know
Great.
what's worse, that or the chest hair.
Yeah, so King Gates over society, I see blue screen of death.
Yeah, at least mine wasn't like a really horrific visual. At least I don't think so.
Yeah.
well,
Not yet.
well, there was a biblical prophecy for that as well.
Right. You know what?
Yeah,
Find me that software. I'll find it in the pages of my book.
yeah, and the geek shall inherit the earth.
Yes, I will find it.
Yeah.
That was a typo.
Actually, if I see
Blessed
that,
are the cheese makers.
if I see that, I may end up just getting rid of that chapter on principle if I can edit around it.
Good luck. So, here's the thing. People want to go ahead and say that the country here in the U.S. is 75-ish% Christian, and that we atheists account for less than let's give a generous 10%. That number is higher. That number is far and away higher. And that's pretty much everywhere. Now, if you know this bit, don't ruin it for anybody. Now, I could have at one point been one of these people. And for a while I kind of was. So here's the bit. There's a poor gentleman on the street. Destitute, not having a good day. Lamenting. Nobody loves me. So, of course, if I were still Christian, I would tell him, God loves you. You believe in God? Yeah. Okay, so are you a Christian or a Jew? And, of course, Christian, I'm expecting Christian because, 70% of the population. He's Christian. Me too. Protestant or Catholic? Just Protestant? Good. Okay. Me too. That's great. Baptist? Good. Yeah. Northern or Southern Baptist? Oh, Northern Baptist too. Good. Good. Me too. Northern Conservative Baptist or Northern Liberal Baptist? Is it Northern Conservative Baptist? Me too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region or Northern Conservative Baptist Eastern region? He said Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region. Me too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1879 or Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912? He said Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912. Die, heretic.
Thanks.
He's an atheist because he doesn't follow the same one that I do. Drilled all the way down. And which book do they follow? Which book do they hold up? Because if they don't believe the same God that you do for whatever reason, even drilled all the way down to there, which book are they using as their shield, as their bunch of arrows that they want to use to say, let's keep everything the way that I want it?
Who's your clan leader?
You gotta trust them with their weird beliefs because they don't believe the same one that you do? Look at the bright side. At least they're not the Catholics, you know. The ones that are basically like the flying Elvi, except they don't believe that eating crackers is like eating zombie flesh. Thank God for small gifts right there, you know. As always, thank you very much for being with us tonight. We hope that you've enjoyed all of our perspectives, found something worthwhile in all of what we've had to talk about tonight, and I hope that I actually made the proper point I was trying to. I don't know. We'll find out later, eventually, if I actually get to listen to the show again. My podcast listening schedule has been really screwed up, so we'll see how this plays out. So as always, everybody, thank you for being with me tonight. Joseph, thank you very much. Have yourself a very good morning. Enjoy your coffee, and have you anything to be plugging for tonight?
Nope.
That's good. That's because you
Try getting an Onohole then.
Sorry?
Chris, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. It's been great to be here again.
You for this. Well, I've still got you, of course, over here for the. Oh, that's right. That's unfortunately fallen by the wayside, hadn't it? Oh shoot! I forget about that.
Yeah, what happened with that? Because I was going to plug it this Monday, and I was like, oh, it's not there.
Oh, what, with the boxing thing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was in order to qualify for the event. I needed to sell like the minimum number of tickets and raise a minimum amount of sponsorship by a certain deadline. Unfortunately, on there, due to my financial situation and the fact that I hadn't been able to get enough ticket sales confirmed, so I missed that deadline and had to drop out. The only other option would be buying like several £100s worth of tickets in a block and then trying to sell them later. And because I've just started a new job and not been paid yet, that wasn't possible at the time. On there, so I may once my situation's improved, I might try doing this again in future.
Fair enough. Thanks for trying, though.
No problem.
Okay. Tech, of course, good morning to you. Thanks for popping in. And we don't have anything to plug for you yet, do we?
His mouth.
I don't have any special.
Shots fired.
I was imagining the other extremity. But
Not in my mouth, though.
Oh.
More than I needed to know.
Well, it's only your comment about.
I'm as cold as ice.
Moving right along. Joey, thank you very much for your time this morning. You heal up and get your rest, and why are you putting another picture up there? What do you want?
It's the last one, I promise.
A good one.
Oh, so Jesus died for our sins, you say? Jesus apparently died for our sins and went straight to heaven after death for eternal afterlife, and people still sin anyways. Mary Curie developed methods for separation of radium from radioactive residues, refused to patent the process, which led to the medical advancements saving billions of lives, with a B, put her prize winnings into war bonds, and devoted herself to the development of the use of radiography during World War II. Died from leukemia induced by prolonged exposure to radioactivity. Fun note, her research papers are still so radioactive you have to sign a waiver to handle them and wear protective clothing.
Damn.
And you still make a fuzz about how Jesus died for our sins? Well, fuck that. Mary Curie died for us.
Yep.
Ain't that the truth?
I can get behind that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Heretic Woman?
I would hope not now.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
she was okay in her day, but I mean,
Oh,
never mind.
If her papers are that radioactive, I'm pretty sure what's left of her is in a very lead coffin.
one would hope. But anyway,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
for your time, of course. What have you got coming up?
So Monday night, of course, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Beyond the Trailer Park. This week, we're just three ladies with microphones, and we're going to wing it. Although the following week, I'm really excited. We have an author who published a book with 20 stories of atheist women. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's in 2 weeks. But this week, the three of us are just going to yap, and we'll see what the hell we end up talking about. Because, why not? We don't have to structure everything. So that's, you can find out more information beyondthetrailerpark.com. And we're on YouTube and live on Spreaker as well. One other little thing is, if anybody knows Pastor Jay and Know the Truth, I am doing some voice work for him, and this week on the new episode, and not the Pastor Jay videos, he's concentrating on a podcast right now. And it's just a short one, but it's really fun. It's kind of a audio drama thing. And this week I got to play a Scientology nun. So definitely check that out. Yes, I know they don't have nuns. That's part of the fun. And that's also on Spreaker, and it's it's KONW, the Truth with no H and 4 exclamation marks.
As it should be. And
Yes.
Dalan, of course, thank you very much for your time tonight and all the help that you've given us, of course. What shall we plug for you tonight?
Of course, we've got the audio version of the show, the much maligned, much in dire need of some work, the Holy Crap, the vlogcast.com, where you can pick up the audio podcast version of the show. That's sort of the big project. And I've also got the blog at robotechtiger.tumblr.com. Yes, it's Tumblr, but it actually makes sense.
Fair enough. And, of course, for anybody that wants to check out the ruminations and the thoughts for Brigid, you can go ahead and check out her blog over at brigidfitch2112.wordpress.com because, I mean, she had to step off, unfortunately, but...
I mean, step out. Stepping off is completely different.
It depends as to... maybe she was putting on... You know what?
shut up!
I was going to make references to putting on the Ritz, and it just wasn't going to come out correctly, so I said, you know what? As Dal said earlier, full stop.
Yeah.
Just We're just running right into the ground right there.
Yeah.
If you would like to get in contact with us and keep abreast as to what's going on around with us, please feel free to swing over, as was mentioned, holycrapthevlogcast.com. You can get all the links over there for all of our stuff, including Facebook, Twitter, G+, and, of course, an email address, which you can send over to podcast@holycrapthevlogcast.com, and the voicemail line, 859-HCTV-554, 859-4288-554. Just a side note, I'm sincerely hoping that I get to take a listen to what I sound like tonight. I did some minor modification to the audio system on my computer, and I do believe that I should be sounding a hell of a lot better compared to what I have before, which includes Skype, which should be much better. So if I'm on somebody else's show in the near future, I may actually sound proper for a change. Not quite as crackly and behind wax paper, whatever the hell it is I sounded like before. In any case, we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys, of course, next week. We are going to be needing to make some adjustments as to how the show is produced, because Google Hangouts on Air is going bye-bye. They're shifting us all over to YouTube Live. I'm going to see about making that switch over next week, so be aware. There may be some slight different changes, and there may be a technological hurdle or 3. We'll see how that plays out. But in any case, we'll be looking forward to being with you again at that point. In the meantime, of course, as always, I wish you the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well, and happy birthday this week to my lovely little one. Congratulations on 14.
Oh.
She's growing up.
Yeah. And of course, as always, what more can I say? Matane Fujin. I love you and I miss you. We miss you. Dream of me. So, as always, till the next time we get together, everyone, good night.